Hello Idle Hero fans, thank you for tuning in today for a video that was recommended for me to make by Sinmic or Michael of Lander. I think that's how you say that. I try my best. I know that the W is not pronounced as a W, but I'm still pretty bad at pronunciation. But anyway, he was my first patron subscriber, and because he's the only one, he was able to recommend this video entirely of his own accord. And what he wanted me to make a video about was kind of addressing a question I should have brought up before, and that is, should beginner players make X 6-star? And by X, I mean any given hero. And it's a question I do get quite a bit, specifically when it comes to these tanks. A lot of people will ask, Suri, should I make a 6-star Dragon Slayer? Because a lot of people who are just getting into the game but have learned a nice enough bit to know that tanks, for example, aren't the greatest, are curious about, will it hinder them in the long term if they make a hero like this? And the short answer is no, it will not hinder you, and you can make any 6-star you want, because something like Dragon Slayer or Faceless, for example, while they might not be the best heroes themselves, of course any 6-star you get at the beginning of the game is going to be better than almost any 5-star you get at the beginning of the game. Now, there may very well be some exceptions, because I know that units like Bloodblade 5-star, for example, wherever he's 2, he's a very strong 5-star unit, so there may be a few 6-stars that aren't quite up to par with him. Something like a 6-star Alira, for example, might not be as useful in PvP as a 5-star Bloodblade, but for like 99% of instances, just simply getting a 6-star is going to help out your team. And I guess the real dilemma people would have is, am I wasting resources? And the answer to that is no as well. Because in order to make a 6-star, all you need to throw at that is other 5-star units. And most people may consider like, but 5-star units are pretty valuable for, of course, making more important 6-stars. Like, why would I waste my material making a 6-star Honor Guard when I could just save up for a 6-star Flame Strike in the future, and those resources will be better used that way? And while that is technically true, it's not too much to worry about for one big reason, and that is when you get a hero to 7 or 8 stars, for example, and you try to awaken them to either 8 or 9-star, you are going to be required to use another 6-star hero as fodder. So you will have to sacrifice a 6-star hero to level them up anyway. So if you're in the early point in the game, and say for example you want to make a 6-star Dragon Slayer, or you can make a 6-star Dragon Slayer and he's the only 6-star you can make, it's not really a bad thing to make him, because you can always sacrifice him anyway later on. If you get a Demon Hunter and you get her to 7-star and then you try to level her up to 8-star, you can use your previously mentioned 6-star Dragon Slayer as fusion material to do that. Now, the only thing you have to watch out for with this is do not take them past 7 stars, because past 6-star. Do not make heroes like Dragon Slayer a 7-star, because once they get to 7-star, they are no longer usable for fusion. Now, with the upcoming 10-star heroes, which, by the way, I don't know when that's going to come out, but I know the devs have talked about it in the past. So whenever 10-star heroes come out, 7-star hero may be required to fuse a 9 to a 10-star, but we can't say that for sure. So in the meantime, while we don't know what the requirement for 10 stars are, I would suggest not taking any 6-star that you're not fully confident you are going to use in the late game up to 7-star. And the quickest way I could use to determine whether or not you should use or raise a level from a hero's level from 6 to 7 would be to take a look at my my heroes tier list guide, where I list all of the top 3 for each class, like Mage, Warrior, Ranger, Assassin, and Priest, and give you the top 3 heroes for those classes. Now, the only characters that would be exceptions would be the ones that came out since that video was made. So of course it makes perfect sense to level up Bloodblade to level 7. It makes perfect sense to level up Berea to level 7. It makes perfect sense to level up Das Moog to level 7. as well as it makes perfect sense to level up Mikhail to level 7. The only reason these characters aren't on my previous tier list is because they didn't exist at the time that the list was made, so I couldn't have known about them, obviously. But they're all very strong heroes, and it seems to be a very big trend of idle heroes to make the new hero incredibly strong in order to help sell the hero. So it's usually a safe bet that you can level them up without any repercussions. I think the last hero that they released that wasn't good was probably Edgar, and that was quite a while ago now, but he was the last hero that they put out that wasn't reasonable, and I think he was released at the same time as Flamestrike. So he kind of was paired with one of the best units in the game, so I guess they knew that they could get away with putting out a lesser hero to an extent. So, but yeah, guys, if you're ever wondering if you should level up a character to 6-star, don't really worry about it. You can level up anyone to 6-star, and they'll help you get through the tower. They'll help you get through the campaign. They'll help you get through some more PvP matches, the Brave Trial, whatever the case may be. But do not level up a hero that you do not plan to use in the end game past level 6 or 6-star, because then they'll start being a hindrance and they will have become a wasted resource. So again, I just want to thank Michael Vilander for suggesting this video. He goes by Sinmic, I think, mostly in the game as well as in the Discord chat. He was the one who suggested that I make this video to help out newer players, because I don't really have a lot of content for beginners. My Fresh Account series kind of dabbles in that a little bit, but not too much. So, but yeah, thank you very much, man, for the subscription on Patreon account, as well as for this awesome idea. Have a good night, everybody.